call the Carlisle Village Council meeting to order. Would everyone please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Bicknell.
Here.
Mr. Jewett.
Here.
Mr. McEldowney.
Here.
Mr. McIntosh.
Here.
Ms. Tankersley.
Here.
Mr. Humphries.
Present.
Mayor Winkler.
Here. Next, we have the minutes. We have a motion to suspend the reading of the minutes by the clerk.
So moved.
Ms. Tankersley.
Second.
Mr. Jewett. Roll call.
Ms. Tankersley.
Yes.
Mr. Humphries.
Yes.
Mr. Bicknell. Mr. McEldowney.
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh.
Yes.
Mr. Jewett.
Yes.
Mayor Winkler.
Yes. Before you are the minutes of our regular meeting of May the 8th, 2018. Is there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adopt the minutes as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Ms. Tankersley.
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh.
Yes.
Mr. Jewett.
Yes.
Mr. McEldowney.
Yes.
Mr. Humphries.
Yes.
Mr. Bicknell. Mayor Winkler.
Yes. Minutes have been adopted for May 8th, 2018. Next on our agenda is our public forum. And first on the agenda is a public hearing for our 2019 tax budget. We have 15 minutes for proponents and 15 minutes for opponents. So we'll start off with the 15 minutes for the proponents of the 2019 tax budget, if there's anyone in the audience who would like to speak. Seeing none, we will close the proponents and we will open the meeting for the opponents of the 2019 tax budget, if there's anyone who would like to speak. Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on the 2015 tax budget. Public forum is still open. If anyone in the audience would like to address council, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, please. Seeing none, we'll close the public forum. We'll move on to council reports. Mr. Bicknell, would you like to start this evening?
I would like to thank council for, at last meeting. The company had a conference in a hotel for 4 days. Pretty interesting, but nonetheless appreciate the excuse. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. Mr. Jewett?
I have nothing this evening.
Thank you. Mr. McEldowney? Had a brain
Just-
freeze there.
That's all right. Just my normal public service announcement. School's going to be out shortly for the summer, so just be cautious when traveling around town and through neighborhoods. And that is all.
All right, thank you. Mr. McIntosh?
A couple things. I'd like to remind everyone of the Memorial Day Parade on the 28th at 1 o'clock. It's the normal parade route going from Roscoe Roof down Park and up Central over to Jamaica. My bi-weekly plea here for citizen involvement on our boards and commissions. We still have plenty of openings, Planning Commission most notably. Please submit resumes and letters of interest to the clerk. Third thing, we have our first Carlisle Business Luncheon tomorrow. We made a decision at our retreat this year that economic development and cultivating a good environment in Carlisle for business, current businesses and future businesses. We identified that as a priority, and tomorrow's the first step in doing that. So I'd like to thank everyone ahead of time that does show up and contribute, and we look forward to many more of those. I had some comments that I'm not ready to share on the Casey's issue. And last thing is I would encourage everyone just to remember Carlisle is a great place, and to stay off social media, if you want, it's a great thing to keep in touch with friends and relatives and share good things. There's a lot of stuff that gets thrown around that just doesn't paint the full picture of Carlisle as what it really is and why we choose to live here. So I'd encourage everyone to take a step back and remember why we live here. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Tankersley?
I want to say that I agree with Brad on the social media, and, take pride in your town and don't just talk about the negative things. This is a nice town to live in. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Mr. Humphries?
I'd like to address a little bit of education I've been given in the last few days. A week ago Monday, we had a transformer blow at the substation next to the Carlisle Baseball Association on Fairview. And you can think about what should be easy to do, but then there's all those rules, regulations, and things in place. I got to speak to several people, including Mrs. Duffy, that really line-itemed the things that you can or cannot do. The subject I really was enlightened on is what you can or can't do with an intersection once the electric is out. And, we understand that, if you paid attention to driver's ed, that when you come up to a dark intersection where there's lights, it basically becomes a four-way stop sign. And from there, it's a courtesy of who's next. It's interesting that you would think it would be easy to do something to cure a situation of that that could be that dangerous or that magnitude, but with rules and regulations and Ohio revised codes, being involved with the state, it's humbling to realize how many different things there are that are required, that you just can't simply just quickly like throw a stop sign out there. I'd like to thank those that educated me, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Is that all you have?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Didn't want to cut you off too quick.
Thank you.
We'll close council report. We'll move on to mayor's report. I just wanted to remind everyone again that the baccalaureate service for our graduating seniors will be held May the 31st at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Hillcrest Baptist Church here on State Route 123, if anyone would like to go. And also to touch on the Memorial Day Parade that Brad mentioned, that will be on Monday, May the 28th, and the parade will start at 1 o'clock. So they'll be forming starting at noon. 2 weeks ago, I'd asked council, we have had invitation from the Lions Club to participate in this parade. Is council interested in participating, or we want to get a float, we want to go individually on rides? So I'd ask everyone to take that under consideration. So if you've had time to think about it or not, this coming Monday, 6 days away, we've got to do something. So think about it. Maybe by the end of the meeting, we'll decide what we want to do. That's all I have on the manager's report. We'll move on to mayor's report.
I'm guessing you mean I'm the mayor.
I'll be the manager.
Just so everyone's clear. I do have just a couple things tonight, just to expand on the parade. The parade will follow the traditional Memorial Day route that starts at Roscoe Park and ends at the Town Hall parking lot, church, cemetery area. I know our parade route was changed with our last parade with the girls and boys baseball and softball field parade, but just to remind everyone, it will be back to the traditional parade route beginning at Roscoe Park. There is a recycling event, recycling event that will be happening. It's a little far drive, but if you got some tires you need to get rid of, this is a good opportunity to do that. The Harlan Township Fire Department over in Pleasant Plain, which is in Warren County, but kind of about the opposite end from us in Warren County. They are having a tire recycling event, It'll be held on Saturday, June the 23rd, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We do get calls from residents who inquire how they can dispose of tires, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So we'll post information on our social media pages to help remind people of that. Folks may have noticed there has been slight movement on the CSX Railroad line. They have come through and done some saw cuts, doing some prep work, and you've seen some ties laid down near the track. It looks like, again, the railroad works on their own time, their own dime, but it looks like they won't actually be coming in to repair the crossings until probably closer to mid-June. So although we are seeing some activities at the crossings, it's not yet that they'll be closing them. And as soon as we hear anything, we'll begin spreading the word as quickly as possible, as although the crossings are in desperate need of repair, like anything, it will be a inconvenience when it actually happens. So we'll keep everybody posted on that. And one more thing, I would like to give special kudos and congratulations out to one of our own staff. Our Mayor Court Clerk, Renee Parks, she just recently received her certification of the Mayor's Court certification from the state affiliation that she belongs to. This is a 3-year process for someone in her position to get certified by the agency. It involves several conferences and meetings and a lot of requirements, so it is a definite commitment of time on her part and energy. And I just want to say that I definitely appreciate her service to us internally as well as to the community, and congratulations to Renee. And that's all I have this evening.
Okay, thank you. We'll close the manager's report. We have no committee reports and we have no old business, but under new business, it's not actually on the agenda, but we have had a resignation from the Planning Commission. Mr. Tom Volpe has resigned. So at this time, could I get a motion to accept Mr. Volpe's resignation?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ms. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Mr. McEldowney?
Yes.
Mr. Humphries?
Yes.
Mr. Bignall?
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. I'd like to thank Mr. Volpe for his time on Planning Commission and wish him the best. And as Mr. McIntosh spoke of earlier, we do have a couple of openings on our Planning Commission. If there's any citizens that would like to step up and volunteer a little bit of time, 1 meeting a month is usually about what it amounts to, so we'd appreciate your help. Now we'll move on to second and third readings, ordinance and resolutions. Under letter A, resolution 918, adopting tax budget for the municipality of Carlisle. And that is on for a second reading.
A resolution adopting a tax budget for the municipality of Carlisle, Ohio.
Is there any discussion? That will be on for a third and final reading on June 12th. Letter B, ordinance 618, determining to proceed with street lighting, and that is also on for a second reading.
An ordinance determining to proceed with the lighting of streets, lanes, and other public ways in the municipality of Carlisle, Ohio.
Any discussion in council? That will also be on for a third reading on June 12th. Ordinance 718, levying special assessments for street lighting, also on for a second reading.
An ordinance levying special assessments for lighting of the streets, lanes, and other public ways in the municipality of Carlisle, Ohio with electric lighting.
Any discussion? That will also be on for a third and final reading on June the 12th. That is all we have on our regular agenda. We do have a work session following our meeting, and the work session is to discuss a proposed traffic light at Union Road and State Route 123, and to discuss possible rezoning issues with multiple parcels within the village of Carlisle. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Jewett?
Yes.
Mr. McIntosh?
Yes.
Ms. Tankersley?
Yes.
Mr. Bignall?
Yes.
Mr. Humphries?
Yes.
Mr. McElDowney?
Yes.
Mayor Winkler?
Yes. We are adjourned.